Hi guys, in this video you will learn how to build a multi-agent AI system that follows Steph France's gold mining framework to find out the most sought after AI solutions in an industry. It does this by analyzing demand, pain points, market gaps, and market size. A few days ago was when I stumbled across Starter Story's video with Steph France in which he introduced this gold mining framework, and it instantly felt like something that a lot of people don't do but they should be doing. And although I was not looking to build out an application then, I watched through the entire video and noticed one thing. There was a bit too many steps, right? One too many steps, especially for a time in which NARN and Make.com and all of those automation platforms, Lindy AI and everything is just ruling the kingdom. If we're going to sit here and just manually do these steps, it just doesn't feel right. And that is when I thought, what if I just automate this entire process so that whenever I feel like, okay, let's go ahead and make an app, or let's go ahead and find a problem just to start developing something, I can just go ahead and talk to my Telegram bot, which you will see just in a second, and ask it for $1 million idea. So by the end of this video, you will learn how to build out this entire system, and you will have an ultimate research team of about 4 AI agents right in your pocket or living inside of your Telegram with NARN as its backend. So without further ado, let's get straight into the build. Perfect. Let's get an overall bird's eye view on what we're building and how we'll be going about it. What is the step-by-step process all the way from step 0 until step 4, and what exactly are we doing here? What is the multi-agent research team? Why did I call it the gold mining framework? Although, like I said, it literally finds you gold in the form of data. But apart from that, what is the reason why why this is called the gold mining framework, and what is the roles of each agent? And then we'll get straight into building it. Now, the gold mining framework is something coined by Steph France. Now, I saw this in Starter Story video. Let me just pull that up here. So it was a collab with Steph France. He's a very good, genius researcher. He referred to this method called the gold mining framework, and he coined it, saying that it is the new way of doing research with the help of AI, Reddit, and Google search. A unique way of doing Google search. Now, you guys, I highly recommend you guys go and watch this video so that you'll get a much better idea on what we are building, because what we're doing here is pretty much just automating that process, right? In his video, in his way of doing it, every single step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 was done semi-manually, you could say it, because most of the build out was done by AI, but then you'd have to go out there and do the research yourself. But then instead here, what you'll be doing is speaking to the main orchestrating agent through Telegram, and it does the rest of the work for you. Now, just a little quick touch on what each agent will look like. The first one will be a market idea expander. This agent will analyze the input market and return all sub-market and sub-niches. So let's say you say healthcare, it'll return all the subcategories and sub-niches under healthcare that you can choose from. Then once you've selected what kind of industry that you want to dive deeper into, it'll send that into the pain point extractor agent. This agent will take as input the selected market and do a complete research using the Reddit API and create pain point summaries. So it'll analyze subreddits. It will find out discussions that happen on the basis of specific problems faced by users and collect all those subreddits. So it'll be around, usually in the range of 5 to 10 subreddits. Use AI to summarize that and send it back to us and for us to confirm. And then once we receive that pain point summary, which will be just a neatly formatted paragraph, will be sent back to us on Telegram. We read through it, we identify the problem, we'll be, okay, cool, that seems like a pretty good problem. But then from where do I start? Like, what kind of solutions can I make? What is the solution that could maybe solve this problem? If you're finding it, a little difficult to identify that problem, identify that market gap, that's when you ask the agent to continue. Now, when the agent continues, the next step is going to be the market gap generator. So after the pain point summary is confirmed by the user, this agent will further analyze the market and identify real gaps and derive creative solutions to solve them. So it will give you a complete, long paragraph with bullet points, recommended tools, the creative solutions. There'll be 3 to 5 creative solutions that you can use to solve that problem, which will be created or generated using OpenAI and Perplexity. And in this case, it'll be done using, as I said, Reddit, SERP, and OpenAI. So finally, you get this list of solutions, and you're not sure, how do I build this? So if you're somebody who's just stepping into the game and you're not sure of how the tech behind the solution works, you want a little bit of assistance, a little bit of base ground for you to start. that is where the project developer agent will come into play. So this agent will take in the final confirmed subniche and generate a tech doc that gives a step-by-step outline on how to build the system. Now, you don't have to rely on it completely to build. I probably recommend you shouldn't, but it will be helpful for you to get you off the ground, give you some solid ground to start up. And especially, like I said, if you're just starting into this the automation and AI agent development space, it'll be really helpful for you to get an idea about alternative tools, methods, the database building, and the overall step-by-step process. Because the one thing that you might lack when you're just getting into it is where do I start, and what is the chronological order of moving ahead in building this. And that is exactly where the project developer agent will help you in doing so. With that being said, let's get straight into the build. So as always, we'll be building this on NAREN. Let's start up a new workflow. So I'll be building this all the way from scratch, and we'll cross-reference with the whiteboard so that we get an idea of where exactly we're going and we don't go off track. So initially, we'll be creating or developing this main orchestrating AI agent. This is the one that will be directing the entire flow. The entire process will be directed by it. And for that, you go all the way to the right corner here and search for AI, and you will get an AI agent node here. So what this does is this is the one that will take in all the input from your side. So for now, for the testing purposes, we'll start with the chat node here. So this is a trigger. So every workflows, I'm making this as beginner friendly as possible, so that if there will be a lot of parts that if you are a little bit advanced developer, you can skip, and I believe you should skip and move on to parts that you want to learn more about. So the chat trigger node is pretty much a trigger like anything else. So there are a lot of triggers out there. All these are triggers that you can choose from, and each application will have its own trigger. This is a native trigger by NAREN. It is used to test the workflow, within NAREN's interface itself. So when you open chat, there'll be a column like this that opens up. Let me just make me a little smaller. Okay, stay there. Okay, a chat opens up, and this is where you can speak with the agent for testing purposes. So at the final stage, we'll be connecting this agent to Telegram. But before we reach there, before we reach the final stage, we'll be using this chat interface to communicate with the agent. Now let's open up the AI agent node, and here you'll see a couple of fields. What we need to fill in this prompt or the user message. Now, connected chat trigger node, this will automatically take in the input, chat input, or you can define it below. Now, I'd always prefer you define it below so that the agent, not even just prefer you define it below, unless and until you're just doing a hi-bye conversation with the agent. I think you should, you probably will have to define the user message below. And always there'll be an option. So when you open this up, here I'm assuming a lot of things. I'm assuming that you know how to create an NAREN account. I'm assuming that you know how to open up a new workflow. I did not name this workflow. Let's my ultimate research team, YT. Okay, so I'm assuming you know how to name the workflow, and also I am assuming you know a little about NAREN, but still I will be explaining everything in as much detail as possible. Perfect. Now the user message. What do we give as the user message? This is the complete command line of the system. This is what will be used by this agent. The instructions that you give inside this user message is what will be used by this agent to call the right tools, to identify the right scenarios, then return in the right format, etc., etc. So for this, you'll have to do a bit of research. You'll have to develop that prompt. You'll have to create that prompt based on your use case. I have already made this before, so I will be using the prompt that I've made before. So I'll just catch you in a second. Cool. I just got the prompt. So as you can see, writing this down would have taken me a long time. It did take me a long time the first time I wrote this. I'll just quickly skim through it so you get an idea about the architecture of the prompt, but you'll not have to write this from scratch either ways, because I'll include that down below in the description. how it works is first you give it context. Context is the most important thing when you are working with LLMs. Giving it as much context as possible will ensure that, in the right way, of course, you don't want to give it too much context so that it confuses which one to access when. But then the right amount of context is very important. Initially, you help it understand what it is doing, why it is doing all this. So first you give a context about who you are, so what you will be using this agent for, so that it understands the type of outputs you're expecting, the scenario that it is working in. So I'm an AI solutions architect that is working with businesses across the world, helping them introduce, operationalize, and implement AI into their business, helping them grow. So again, I'm not going to read through it all. And you're part of an AI research team that is assisting me, that's the user, to dive deeper into a broad market, identify relevant pain points, market gaps, a creative solution, and finally, a complete tech doc that outlines a step-by-step approach on how to build it. This team will play a vital role in helping me decide which project to work on and why. So that is an ultimate context that it now knows to work accordingly. Now it knows how to behave, how to what is its exact role, and what kind of a situation or a scenario is it being placed in. And then the most important context will be your input message. So that was also been referenced here, which will get it connected to the chat node soon. And when you add in all the prompts, there's a lot of behavioral guidelines, simplified examples, the step-by-step process. Okay, so step 1, use this tool. Step 2, use that tool. Step 3, go to that tool. And finally step 4. And the rest of the prompt clarifies the step-by-step process, how it should act to, or when should it call each tool, what all tools does it have under its belt, and how does, or when should it access it. Then protocols on clarifying any confusions when it comes across any. And like I said, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc. So you'll get this prompt underneath, so I'm not going to read through it all. You can use it. Then I have also included a system message. So how do you do that is you go to add options, and you'll see a system message option here. And when you click that, you'll get a field just like this, and you open it up. Now, how do you open it up like this? You just toggle this from fixed to expression, and you'll be able to open up a full in full screen. Now, the system role the system instruction is just helping it understand, again, just reconfirming it, what is its role, and feeding it to the system and not as the user message. So this doesn't change. This is the identity of the LLM that is going to be working with us. So you're the lead orchestrator in the team. Your responsibilities are understand the user's intent from their latest message, decide the next best action by selecting exactly one sub-agent tool, provide precise parameters for the tool, generate a short, friendly message for the user. So that is the system message and the user prompt. Now, to get this to work, right now it is just a node. It has no access to any LLM whatsoever. It does not have a memory. It does not have a tool. So the next step is connecting it or giving it all these necessary assets. Okay, so the first step is connecting it to a chat model. I'm just going to go with OpenAI right now, just for the ease of use of the account connected, and also if it's fueled with credits and stuff. So I'll just use OpenAI. You can use the model of your choice. If you have a better understanding of how LLMs work, you can go through the benchmarkings, and you can study each of the, or most of the top LLMs like Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, Grok, and understand what it is best for, what is its best capabilities, and use that accordingly here. You can use whichever LLM model you want. And I say it lightly, but then the output will differ according to the model that you use. It can perform better if you're using a better model. Now, with the chat model and the AI agent connected, if you send this a message, it'll reply back with a reply message, pretty much. But when you ask it again, it won't be able to respond back to you. So let's say I choose 1, right? Welcome to start to give you 1. What did I choose? I don't think this is going to respond the way I expected, because I've given it the prompt. Get started, please let me know. So it's just repeating that prompt because I've asked it to always stick with the script. So it's not going to change. But then pretty much the idea was, when I say I choose 1 initially, and then I ask it, what did I choose? It will not be able to remember because it does not have any memory associated with it. So for that, what you need to do is just add a memory, pretty much. So you've got multiple options. You can use Postgres, MongoDB, or you can use the native simple memory. So this is a built-in memory. This is, gives the AI agent more context. It helps it remember things. So the context window is, you can put it as 5, or I'd suggest you put it as 10, so it gets a bigger context window because the conversations are going to be lengthy in this use case. And then finally comes the tool. So the tool is, let's go back to the whiteboard. What we just built is this main orchestrating AI agent, right? We've completed that. Now we have an orchestrator. Now you can rename this as well. So when you double click that and go up here, you can rename this to main orchestrating AI agent. Perfect. You can do that by just simply pressing spacebar as well. Once we've built that, now we need to give this tools. Now these tools in this use case, all these 4 steps that you're seeing are the tools, right? Is the arms and legs of this orchestrating agent. This is what allows it to give you those informations that you instructed it to give you. So these are the tools that it will be accessing to find. So for example, when you give it the first broad market, let's say for example, again, healthcare, it is going to give you or it is going to access the market idea expander agent to give you all the sub niches and subcategories within healthcare industry. It is going to access the market idea expander. The market idea expander is the one that is going to do the work for the main agent, and the main agent is going to take that output and send it to you, or maybe a little formatting will happen, but then it'll send it to you in a well formatted list, pretty much. So how do we do that? Now we can do it in 2 ways. The function of the tool is just AI based, where the LLM can do it all. Then you can add an AI agent tool separately. Now the reason why we're doing this is, why we're handing it off to another agent. So this is an AI agent. We need an AI agent tool. So you can hand it off to another AI agent tool. So this is like, delegating that work to this AI agent. This is useful when you're only, what do you say? When only the function that that agent has to perform can be done with the help of, with the help of AI. So all it has to do is, let's say for example, in the market idea expander, all it has to do is just split out a broad industry. That AI can do. So we can use the AI agent tool to do that. Whereas when it comes to the pain point extractor, there is a lot more steps and a lot more applications that is involved, and is not usually, or the ideal way of doing that is not usually through an AI agent tool. You can still do it with the AI agent tool, but I would recommend you go for using this other tool called call NARN workflow tool. So what this does is it pretty much, let me just add that in here. So it looks like this. So what this does is it uses a whole another workflow, it disguised as an AI agent. So once the main orchestrating agent identifies that, okay, this is the tool that needs to be called, it'll trigger this tool, but there is nothing much this tool per se is doing other than triggering an entire other workflow, and an entire other workflow performs the function for the agent to return the information correctly. Now what I'll do is I'll be using the sub workflow tool throughout the build. I just like that more, and there's a lot more a lot more freedom to work around. You get an entire canvas to build out over there. So I've built this out initially through the call NARN workflow tool. Now we'll add in 4 more of this. So this is not the ideal way of doing this, but then it just looks cool and you move faster because now you already have 4 agents just looking at you. Give me a second. Perfect. You see, it's already turning out to look pretty cool. So each of these 4 sub agents represent each of these steps, right? So the first agent will be called as the market idea expander. So we'll start working with one by one, and then we'll proceed. So Nick's Arrive has this common saying, make sure each step works and then move to the next. Or he even goes to say, move backwards. So build from backwards. Is very good at what he does. So it is, easier for him to say. But then once you're building it out, initially you'll have to work front, I mean, from the first itself. But the best way I've also found it or felt like is making sure one node works, then moving on to the next, because then otherwise you'll build out, add everything till the end, and then the entire thing just stops working and you'll have to do it all from the scratch again. So let's start working on the market idea expander. Right now, the thing that you need to make sure here is, it is not a, what do you say, it is not a very mandatory thing or anything, but because the AI is smart enough to understand that. But try to name or try to give the sub agent the same name that you give it in the main orchestrating agent's prompt. So if it is, market underscore idea underscore expander, then that should be the name that you give within the user prompt of the main agent. So over here, as you can see, market underscore ID underscore expander. Like I said, I've built this out initially, so that is why I'm figuring all this out. It will be the I'll give you the entire JSON script as well, so then you won't have to do anything from scratch. The prompts for each agent also, so it'll be a lot easier for you to build, and it'll be a lot quicker as well. Now, within the sub-agent node, you will also come across a similar outline or a similar layout as you saw within the main orchestrating agent. But in this, you will not be doing much of prompting within the node itself. Instead, you'll be doing it within the workflow that you're going to be building as the sub-agent. So I'll explain that in a bit. So how this will work is, as I said, all of these four nodes have been added. Now, how do you connect this to a workflow? It's very simple. You just go to workflow here and you create a sub workflow in personal. You click that, it'll automatically create a new workflow. So right now, just click that and created a new workflow myself for myself. This two nodes kind of explains how this works very simply. So when executed by another workflow, so when this workflow, when the AI agent triggers this tool, that is when this trigger, when executed by another workflow. So this is another workflow and this is another workflow. And when this workflow triggers this workflow is when the workflow gets triggered. Yeah, it's kind of dumb when I say it that way. But either ways, I hope you get the point. So when executed by another workflow, now replace me with your logic. We will replace it with a logic. Now, what is the logic here? Let's go back onto the drawing board. Market idea expander. That is what we're building right now. This agent will analyze the input market and return all sub markets and niches. So what do we have to do for that? Like what will allow us to do this function, perform this function? AI, pretty much. We don't have to do anything else. So we go to the plus icon, or you can double click over here, double click with two fingers. What do you call that? Whatever. You add a node and you'll add an AI node. So here you'll go to OpenAI. So you can choose the model of your choice. It does not matter, but again, as just for the ease of use and ease of explaining and the speed of building this, I'm going to go with OpenAI itself. Go to message a model. Now, something like this will open up. You connect this, open up the AI node. Now you'll have an interface that looks like this. Now in here, the first is the credentials, resources, operations, model, prompt. Then you've got, you can add in more prompts. So within the prompt, you've got three different roles, that is user, assistant, and system. So when I was starting out, that was around 6 months ago or something, I was kind of confused on what is the exact roles. Yeah, right. Like what is user, what is system, what is assistant. So just so that if you are a very new person into this and if you're building this out, user is the message sent as as from your side, your input. What are you looking for? Assistant is the a specific way of outputting the message. So if it has to come in a JSON format and the JSON format has to look in a specific way, then that is what you put in there. That is the output format. And the output the output format is one way of saying it, but then whatever kind of output, so it can be the tone, it can be the personality, how melodious it should be, what is the cadence it should have, what is the flow, what is the rhythm, all of that you can explain within the assistant. And the system prompt is the brain prompt, is the logic, is the wiring of the LLM, that what is its role, what is its what is the scenario that it is working in. I kind of touched on that earlier as well. So that is what you'll be putting there. So here we'll first work with the user prompt, which is the instruction, which is the user instruction that we'll be giving it. Now, again, let's quickly go back here. This agent will analyze the input market and return all sub markets and niches. Now, I kind of got the privilege of watching, again, as I mentioned at the start of story video, and was able to get few resources from there, which was made by Steph Franz. And one of them was the prompt for the market idea expander. So I've got that with me. I'll just put it in and I'll get back to you in a second. Cool. I've got the prompt here. Now, I did not make this prompt. I'm not going to take the credit for that. This prompt was made by Steph Franz, which actually increases the credibility of this because he knows what he's doing. So this prompt, and I've tested this system all out, and it is actually giving out really good responses when it comes to each sub agent and the prompts included within. And there are a few changes that I've made, but specifically for this prompt, I've not made pretty much any changes because I did not have to. There is not much of active research or web search that this is doing. But then I've I think we could make this a little better by giving it a little bit more context, because here, as the prompt made by him is pretty generic. What he's given as as the mission is, you're a business strategy and market segmentation expert with generating list of markets, categories, niches, or sub niches. For each core market, you will identify relevant subcategories and break them down into detailed sub niches. We'll add a small portion to it, and we'll get that from the main orchestrating agent. Go here and take this context here. You're part of the assisting to dive deeper into the okay, I'll just use the user yeah, can use the full thing. I'm gonna bring that here. Let's keep that, and let's add this here. Just give it a little bit more context. It should help with the response. This team will play perfect. So I've added this context portion to every agent that will be coming ahead, so that it gets the right context all the time. Now let's go back. We don't need to give this a specific system prompt or anything, because usually the system prompt, like I said, it highlights or outlines what the role, what the objective, what is the scenario situation that this AI model is in. That is kind of mentioned within this, your mission and the context and everything. So it is there within the user prompt, user instruction itself. So that should be okay. Let's add in the user input as well. So the broad industry that the user wants to dive deeper into is JSON dot. Let's work on the input first, and then we'll get the variable from there. For this, I'll be using GPT 4.1 mini. Again, if I have to use 5, I can use GPT 5. I've found this to be a little bit more faster, so that's the reason why I'm using this. You can use the model of your choice. Again, in the video by Steph Franz, he used Claude for everything, so you can use Claude. Claude works well as well, but then the API charges for Claude is insane, so I'm not going to go for that. But apart from that, you can use any model as you wish. OpenAI works well with everything as well, so you can go with that for everything. Now, this is fine, right? This looks cool, and this is exactly what I've made initially. This is how my build out looks initially, as you've seen. But while I'm making this video right now in real time, I think it'll be a little bit more better if we could give this a web search tool, right? Something that it can get more relevant, more real-time data of. And the best AI model out there that can produce real-time data from web search is Perplexity. Now, so there's some bug going on within N8N and Perplexity, that even if you connect it through, or if you connect it through the actual Perplexity tool. So the ideal and the recommended way to do this is you go to, you type in Perplexity in the sidebar, and you get this Perplexity tool. Now you go click that, and you fill in your credentials, you write in your prompt, and That's it. That is how it should work. But for some reason, I'm not sure. I searched it up, and apparently, a lot of people are facing this bug, and Naren is trying to fix it. But I'm not sure why it is not working. But either ways, I think it is an update problem, or I'm not sure again. Yeah, but either ways, there is a workaround on how to fix that, and that is using the HTTP request node. I've made that before, so I'm going to bring that in, and I'll just show you how that looks. Cool. So this is the perplexity tool. What we're doing here is we're kind of just bypassing the direct approach with an indirect approach, pretty much. We're using the URL, the perplexity URL for chat completions, and the authorization bearer API key, content type, application JSON, and then the body type. So this is where the prompt is going to go in. So the prompt is going to go in as a JSON with the user system prompt all formatted properly. Now there will be a problem that you'll face here, which I will get into just in a second, and that is the reason why this JSON variable looks like this. And I'll build that out, or I'll write that out for you when we get the input from the main AI agent. Now I've used the prompt that I've already, like I said, we already have. So the tool is not referenced here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just reference the tool. We'll say first I'll have to identify exactly what we're going to use this perplexity tool for. So this I've got it from the pain point summary. So instead, you will assist a market idea expander to identify more subcategories and sub niches under a broad market given by the user. Help given by the user. Give the latest data. The latest data. Perfect. So you will assist a market idea expander agent to identify more subcategories and sub niches under a broad market given by the user. Give the latest data. Okay. The broad market that the user wants to dive into is, and that would be the query, right? Cool. Now we'll go back to the AI model, and we will write you can, or we'll give it here, how to respond if the user cool, we'll add it as a point here. You can use the tool search now to get more details about the broad market from the web. Get more real-time latest details about the broad market from the web. Cool. So I've referenced the node. Now I have to reference one. Yeah, that is the user input. So that is that not the user input, the agent, main agent input. That is the only way this will work. So first, I'm gonna go back here. Now I've noticed a problem with the output earlier when we asked it a question. Now I've faced this problem earlier as well. What we'll do is, when you use the output parser, we will return data. Let's see if this works. Reply output. Token. What? Give me a second. Reply the output. Let's see if that works. If not, we'll just stick with the current way it is formatting, because when it comes to Telegram, we'll be able to change the way that it looks. We'll be able to use that. It'll come out fine when you connect it to Telegram. Now we'll test this out. We'll just deactivate all the other tools so that it doesn't get in the way. So how do you deactivate it? You highlight it, you make sure all of the nodes fall into one box, and you just press D. Now when I press D again, it'll activate. When I press D again, it'll deactivate. All right, so now let's type in hello in the chat box, and it should just return, hello, welcome to this, blah, 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 blah. Now, maybe we might encounter an error. Let's see what the error possibly might look like if we do. Yes, we did. So what is the error? Now, I expected this error, of course, but then there's one step that we missed out on, which is the reason why we're getting this error. And that is when you go back to the user prompt for the main agent, you'll see that we haven't changed this variable. So what we need to do is simply just go here, drag that, and just put it in here. Hello. Now it should work. Hello. Let's just restart this. Hello. Cool. Now, as you can see, it hasn't accessed any tool. It's just responded to the hello. Now, this is what I was talking about, right? The format. So we'll fix that when we connect the Telegram input and output. Until then, we'll just work with this chat box. Hello, as an AI solutions architect working globally, would you like to explore a broad market today to identify opportunities you can share in industry? So this is what I said. Like, this will change when you change the model, right? This way of output will change when you change the model. It'll become a lot more friendlier, because I've already mentioned it, the way it needs to respond. I've given it examples. I've given it the context. So now it is up to the model to make sure that the output is proper, like it is in the right format, it is friendly, it is it is what the user is expecting. So it'll become better if you change the model, but then for now I'm going to use 4.1 mini again, just for cost effectiveness and speed, mainly the speed, because the responses are pretty fast. Now I will give it a broad market. Let's go with healthcare itself. Okay, we faced another error. We did kind of expect that error, didn't we? Let's go to the latest execution. So in NARN, this is another cool thing about execution. You can go, you've got, another great thing about NARN, that you can go to, you've got three sections that the whole interface is divided into. So editor, execution, and evaluations. So before leaving, you'll have to save changes. So let me just, my camera is kind of cool. All right, sorry about that. Now let's go to executions. Debug in editor. Yep, cool. The camera just fell off. Okay. Has issue, cannot be executed for that reason. Please fix them. Cool. I know it has issue. What is the issue, bro? It is the input, but then I'm not able to see an input here. Ah, makes sense. My bad. Now you've got to save the workflow, right? I did not save the workflow. I also just realized I did not give this a proper description, which is also necessary so that the main agent can identify the sub agent more easily. So let's give this a description. It will be call this tool to expand the broad market that the user wants to dive deeper into, or call this market to expand the broad market, well, this tool, sorry, expand the broad market that you will expand to the broad market and receive subcategories and sub niches within it. Perfect. Let's try this again. We've saved it, so I kind of forgot to save it. Rookie mistake. Either ways. Hello. Cool. Healthcare. Now this will return an error again. We'll have to kind of make a mistake intentionally to fix the problem. I'll show you what I mean. It's doing something. Not sure what it is trying to do. It called it 10 times. Let's, now if you want to, understand, if you want to dive deeper into what the problem really is, you can just open up the nodes that just, finished working, go to logs, and you'll be able to see the exact steps it did. So the input, what was the output here? There cannot be any output because I've not referenced it anything here. So that's probably the error. But then it's showing it succeeded somehow. Not sure how. Let's go back to, let's copy that to the editor. We can pin this information, healthcare, cool. Please specify the broad industry you want to dive deeper. Exactly. So if not specified that industry, we're going to take this, we're going to drag it in here. Now the broad industry that the user wants to dive deeper into is healthcare. Cool. I'm going to save that again. Let's go back to the main agent. Let's retry that. Hello. Cool. Healthcare. Oops. Healthcare. It takes time, which means it is working. It's usually that way, yeah. Then the last time it took too much turns, which means there is a problem because you don't access a tool 6 times to get one answer. That is not how it usually works. Now you can see we've got the output here. Here is a breakdown of the healthcare market into categories and subcategories. Health, primary care, family medicine, internal medicine. There's a lot of stuff here, right? Like cardiology, interventional cardiology, all the medical stuff, right? I'm not going to go into that. Now, the next step, we'll be using this information for the next step. So let's just quickly jump back into the whiteboard. The next step here is pain point extraction, right? This agent will take as input the selected market, or the selected subcategory, sub niche, the industry, sub industry, whatever, right? You can call it the sub market as well, and it will do a complete research using Reddit API and create a pain points summary. So now, when you watch the Star Story video, so what my whole idea is to automate that exact process, right? So I wanted to stick with the guardrails of that exact process. So I'll actually just open up. I have nothing to hide here. I'm not going to hide that. So Starter YT Star Story. Yeah, this was the one. So this is the the asset that you will get with that from that Star Story video that you can use to build out this 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 system, this automated system itself. And when you go through this process, the first one was going to be Google query Reddit, right? So what this is doing pretty much is this, when you select an industry from this list of industries that you just got, what do let's say you select let's say just select one, man, come on. Anything, mental health, right? Mental health counseling, let's do that. When you select mental health counseling, the idea was you copy this, right? The idea within the Star Story video, the actual manual gold mining framework, this is how it works. First you select a first you select a broad industry within health, wealth, relationships, and then you go dive deeper into either one of them, and then you do an intensive research on it. So to do that intensive research, he used Reddit, right? Now, how he did that within the manual process of doing that was he went into Google and used that specific way of querying Google, specific way of giving it an input. So this, all it does is it in text. So like it identifies these words, like I think, I feel, I was, I have been, I experienced, all of these words within the Reddit subreddits, so within subreddits, and asks and explores the subreddits that has words like this, that is relating to the market that we initially selected, right? So let's go here, let's input this, and which was a market that we said we'll go into. I think it was mental health counseling, correct? Yeah. So mental health counseling. Let's press enter. You see all these subreddits. These are all, either threads or subreddits, conversations, discussions, you can call it whatever you want, that happen within the Reddit platform that you can look into, that will help you get a bit more idea on what people are struggling with, what are they thinking about, what are they feeling, how are they feeling about that specific industry or that specific sub niche that you just selected. Now, this is the manual way of doing this. Our whole idea is to automate this process. Now, how are we going to do that? Simple. We're going to use n8n. We'll come back to the main orchestrating agent. We're going to go to the second tool, which is the second step in our entire process. Again, it is called n8n workflow tool. We can change that into pain point extractor. Come down here. Again, I'm going to repeat this. What this does is it calls another entirely new sub workflow that is connected to this workflow. So the trigger for that new workflow is going to be this main AI agent calling it. And the way we're going to connect it to this AI agent is by selecting it here. So we'll create a new sub workflow. Great. So this is the new sub workflow, the pain point extractor. What we'll do here, my camera keeps going up for some reason. Either ways. What we're going to do here is we are going to walk through the process again, and I will show you. Let's go to the document from Star Story so that you get a better idea. So the first step, so what we'll do in this process, we're going to combine two steps. So the first step is the one that I just showed you, querying through Google to find out subreddits and threads. And the second step is going to or selecting a subreddit and copy pasting the entire content within that subreddit or within that thread, and we copy paste the entire conversation, the discussion people are having, all the thoughts that people are putting in. We find out one very interactive or relevant or latest thread, and we copy paste the entire data and put it into AI and give it this prompt, right? So pretty much I'm analyzing Reddit conversations to identify common pain points, blah, 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 blah. You'll get this exact prompt. You don't have to write this out. But in this, Steph France really did put a lot of thought into this. So, got to thank him for that. And all the analysis criteria do not include the output format. Everything is given here. An example for output, how the output should look like is also, given here. Finally, pretty much all what we have to do is just add in the Reddit data. It sounds easy, but then there is, it is easy, but then there are a few steps that we have to do in order to get that Reddit data. I'm just going to run through this very quickly. There's a few steps that we'll have to cover, so I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. The first step is to search Google. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that. Go to search API. Then you'll something like this will open up. I've already installed it, so installing this is a little different from how you usually do it because you don't necessarily have to install many of the nodes. In this case, what you do is go to Docs to install this. Yeah, I mean not to install this, to connect to this. To install it, there'll be an option here saying install. So you just have to click that. After you've installed it, you add it to your workflow. Then you have to connect it, right? So the credentials, where you get the API key, that is what I was going to show you. And it kind of got jumbled up there. Then you go to searchapi.io and you log in, right? So first you'll come onto the uh, to just the API documentation or a landing page, and then you can access the API documentation. But you log in, then you get a dashboard view like this, and in that you'll be able to get your API key, right? Now you get 100 credits, 100 free credits that you can use, which is more than enough to get you up and running. Then you just have to add in a little bit of credits so that it works. Once you've connected your credentials, my credentials are already connected, you add in your query, right? So the query here, I actually have a search API node already made from the previous query, so I'm just gonna copy paste that. Give me a second. Cool. I've gotten a pinned node. Let's unpin this. I don't need the information. So this, as you can see, I've used the same format, the same method as mentioned in that document by Stefrans. The only change we're doing here is we're going to make the market input dynamic. The variable is going to be dynamic. The market input is going to be dynamic, and it'll be a variable. So now when you run this, if it has the information from the previous node, what it will do is it will use that market to do the search. So let's kind of try that right now, because we don't have the next steps. All we'll need that. So we're going to first try that, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, I just got the description. Cool. Let's try this again. Let's go in and get information passing into the pain point extractor. Right, we've got pain point extractor. Let me just make sure that the name is the same as the one that is there in the user prompt given here. Market idea expander. No, it is not. It is market validator pain points. I'm not sure why I gave it that name, but then I'm going to stick with that, because otherwise I'll have to keep changing it in the user prompt everywhere. So let's change that. Cool. Let's say hello again. Cool. Healthcare. Oh god, yeah, healthcare. Okay, great. It came up with again couple of a list of couple of not a couple of list, a list of couple of markets, virtual consultations, remote diagnostics. That seems like a good place. Remote diagnostics. It seems like a good space for AI, to be honest. Okay, we've got an error. It is expected. Don't worry. Now all we needed was it to hit the it's not a webhook, but then hit this hook here so that we can get that information and reference it and build out the rest of the flow. So we'll go to execution again. We'll see an error execution. So we've got to fall once to get back up, right? I'm going to debug this within the editor. It's the same problem again. I don't think. Cool. Let's try that again. Okay, we got a list of all the sub niches, subcategories within healthcare. Now let's go with which one do we go with? Digital health. Is there any sort of diagnostic services? Yep, we've got that. Let's go with diagnostic services, because that's a place where AI can really help. Now we'll get an error most probably. Okay, for some reason we got the response back. I'm not sure how. Here's a detailed summary of pain points and challenges people have expressed regarding. There's a common struggle. Okay, from where did that get that information? We'll have to find out. I think as we copy pasted that information from what do you say, from the workflow that I already made. It was already connected to the, yeah, it was connected to the query. So it was referencing the query already. So I'll just show you what exactly happened here. The search parameters was diagnostic services. That was the input from our side and the input from the AI agent side. And we've got how many? Let's see. We've got position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 subreddits, or threads, discussion threads, that we can use for the AI to give us or generate a summary for us. The query, you can just copy paste it from the document. The operation name is going to be search, and yeah, that's it. So that is set. Now let's go to the next step. So what was the next step? We need to analyze the Reddit threads, right? We need to get those Reddit threads, the information. We need to copy paste the entire discussion, right? How we did it manually was we literally just copy pasted the entire discussion, and then we what do you say? Then we pasted it into a Claude or into GPT and gave it a prompt to summarize it. But here, what we'll have to do a couple of steps before that. Now, a problem that you might face if you just go ahead and try to, the ideal way of doing this is you select Reddit. You can search for get a post, because each of this position 1, position 2 is a post and information within that post. And then you can give it you just have to give it the subreddit. So this is the source, yeah, and then it'll come off like this, and the post ID. Now you might, within this search result, you'll not be able to find the post ID, but the post ID lies within the URL. And when you look at this portion is the post ID, right? This 1D8KYBY is the post ID. Now we'll have to put it in here, right? But if we just put the link in here, you won't be able to do that. It'll return an error. Just wait for it. It'll return an error, right? So how do you do this? Now, all the steps that are going to come in between the search API and the Reddit and the AI node that is going to come after that is going to be to make sure that we get these two information properly. So the first one will be a set node or a code node. Now we'll have to use a little bit of code to extract URLs and source names, right? So what we need is all this. So let's go here. We need this link, and we need the source, and we'll also need the snippet, the highlight snippet word here. So to make sure that it includes the search query, and it is not just referencing just like some you will see. I'm not sure if it is there here. Okay, you see this, right? The snippet word that, the highlighted word here was diagnostic services, and I think. In some cases, it will be just I think. Then, analyzing or wasting your tokens on that to summarize that is not worth it. So I think, just I think is not useful to us. We need to make sure that diagnostic services is also included within the the thread somewhere. Then only we continue to the summarization or getting the subreddit. So we'll include snippet highlight, source, and link. We'll extract these three informations only in an array with the help of this code node. I have the code node already made, so I'm just going to bring that out here. All right, so I've got the code node and a split out node. Now I'll show you exactly what we're going to be doing here. Let's just connect this. So now what the code node does is pretty simple. Now let me just pin this data so that I won't waste my credits. The code node will take as input the links, the sources, the snippet, and just it will extract just those three elements or those three objects, and create an array with all the links, all the sources, and all the snippets from each of the results that we got from the search API. So let me just run this, and I'll show you how it looks. So we get a list of all the links that came in. So we had 9 positions, as I read out earlier. So we've got 9 links, we've got 9 sources, we've got 9 snippets. Now, what we need to do now is, now when we run this, it will it'll run into the problem that we'll face is it'll just be like one array. So it'll analyze, or we won't be able to analyze each link one by one. So to solve that problem, we're going to split each of this list into objects, right? When you click this, you're going to get we've got 10 items, right? I'll just show you how it looks. Right, go to the table view. We'll be able to see now each link, each source, each snippet has now been turned into each object. Each of them is one object. So we'll be able to reference each link, each source, and each snippet separately to get relevant information out of each of the subreddits or threads or conversations. Now, okay, so the next step is feeding this into Reddit. Now, the only way, we kind of touched on this earlier. The only way Reddit will be able to figure out or find this post for us is if we give it the subreddit and the post ID. Now, although we split this and all, we still haven't gotten that information. If you look here, we've gotten the link, we've gotten sources and snippet. You might think we've got the subreddit, right? Like we've got the source here. But when you put it in here, you'll see that the literal output is reddit-r/york. But all we need is York, right? That is what Reddit can read, or that is only what Reddit can read. And post ID, we can't just give it the link. We need to give it this specific ID that is within the URL. See, we only need this. We'll have to do a little bit of custom formatting. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the edit field and we will name the first one post ID. The second one will be subreddit. The third one will be snippet. Post ID, I've already made the custom formula, so I will just show it. I'll just copy paste that and I'll explain it to you. All right, we've got the custom formulas here. As you can see, the first formula is removing all the other items apart from the post ID and just returning the post ID. The second one is just returning the subreddit name, and the third one is just returning the snippet. We do not do anything much custom over here. We just dragged this and placed it here. With that, we've got that information also cleared up. Now we can either add an if node here if required. Now I'll just complete so I've got the rest of the steps included. So I'll just quickly add that in here and I'll just walk you through it. Okay, so this is how the final workflow is going to look like. The if node is going to just filter out, if make sure that the snippet contains diagnostic services. That is what it does, nothing else pretty much. And after that, the next step is to connect it to the Reddit node. For that, you'll have to connect to the Reddit API, which is pretty simple. All you have to do is there you go. Give me a second. Go to the website called reddit.com/pref/apps. That's the one. From here, you'll be able to go to apps and create another app. Just type in the name of the app and create app, and you'll get your API ID and everything from there, right? You add in the edited field, the edited post ID and the edited subreddit here, and you'll be able to retrieve information from that subreddit. As you can see, it has retrieved information from all the subreddits. You'll get all this information. We'll just limit it to 2 this time. So the limiter is optional. If you want, you can keep. If you don't want, you don't have to. The prompt given here is the exact prompt that I just showed you on the other document. You just have to copy paste that in here and then press execute. It will give you 2 outputs because we're giving it we're giving it 2 inputs, right? Now once that is done processing, we get 2 outputs, 2 summaries, 2 pain point summaries. We aggregate that. So how do we aggregate that? Why do we aggregate that? So that we get an array of all the summaries. We now have 1 item instead of 2. We send that 1 item into another messaging model, another OpenAI model, to just simply summarize this pain point summary that we just received. As you can see, we've got just 1 summary that is outlining the both pain point summaries that we just got. Now this is what will be sent back onto our main orchestrating agent, and we'll be getting a pain point summary from there. Now we'll move to the next step as we go back to our whiteboard. Step number 3, market gap generator. After the pain point summary is confirmed by the user, this agent will further analyze the market and identify real gaps and derive creative solutions to solve them. How? Let's find out. For that, first we need to configure the sub workflow. Again, do the same thing, just create a new sub workflow. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I've made this workflow already, so I'll just paste it in here and walk you through it. So this is an agent inside another agent. So the other one, the pain point extraction, was more of a workflow type, right? There was not an AI agent node within it. But in here, we've got another agent which is responding to the main agent. So what is this agent doing? It is identifying potential market gaps by analyzing the pain point summary that we just created. So the prompt for this agent will also be given in the description. It is there within the document. I did not write much of this prompt, but then I did give it the context as you've seen. And also, this was not, what do you say? This was not created, or this was not made for an automated experience. So instead, this is made for the manual way of doing it. So I've had to optimize it for the automation process as well. So what this does is pretty much your mission. Let me just quickly read it for you. Analyze the provided market pain point summary, generate potential solutions, consider both capturing existing demand and creating new demand, evaluate solutions for its potential, best to be in the best in the category, identify unique angles, present a comprehensive yet practical set of business opportunities. Now we've got all these solution frameworks to apply here. Business. Where is it? Yeah. Market segmentation framework, product differentiation framework, business model innovation, distribution and marketing framework, new paradigm framework, etc., etc. Cool. We've got it, given it output instructions as well. Now we've also given this a perplexity arm that it can use to search the web, to get information about solutions that already exist, about tools that are relevant to each solution, and get more real-time data from the web. So a combination of LLMs, right? That is the whole idea of large language models out there right now. How do we make different LLMs, or how do we use the best capabilities of each LLM and have it work together? And this is an example of that. Cool. Now we've added in the OpenAI chat model, and this agent is pretty much configured. That is it. Now we go back to our ultimate, research team. We check what is the name that was given to that NAREN workflow. I mean, to that sub agent. Market gap generator. We'll just copy this, go back here, add this as the name, and activate it. So that is activated. Now for step 4, I know I am not testing out each step, is because I'm confident that it will work. I have tested it out before with the same exact setup, so I will test it out towards the end of the video, and you will get to see the build out properly. But if it is in your case, and if you're building this out from scratch, do test out each step one by one. Now, oh yeah, I forgot to mention one more point. In the perplexity node, you'll be given the entire information, but then make sure that you copy paste the dynamic variables just like this, because when the input has multiple lines and spaces, JSON does not work, and that is why we that custom formatting is given. And now finally we need the project builder. That is an optional step, so I'm not going to be walking you through it, but if you want, you can add it. I will include the assets for that as well beneath this video. But for now, we'll test out the market idea expander, market validator, and market gap generator. And if you are, if you've been in this space for more than 6 months, then that is pretty much all you need, right? That itself will be enough for you to move the ball forward. So let's start again by saying hello. Okay. Let's go dive into healthcare. So we've got a breakdown of all the, all the different stuff within healthcare, as we've seen before. Let's go diagnostic services again. Now, as you can see, it hit the market validator pain points, and it came back a bit too quickly. Kind of sus, to be honest. Here's a detailed summary of pain points. Yeah, it is sus, because I again forgot to save the workflow. Let me just save this and let's try it again. Cool. Let's go to diagnostic services again. I don't know if this time it returned to that. It probably should. Now, as you can see, it will take some time. Now, this run can go for about a minute or two. Okay, you don't have to worry about that because it is a bit of a lengthy process. And once that is finished, we'll get back. All right, so that took less than I expected, to be honest. It was done in 29 seconds, probably because the healthcare industry, if they did not get that much Reddits. Or, oh yeah, I know why. I know why. It took 30 seconds because we set the limiter to 2. Remember? So we only analyzed 2 subreddits this time. But if you remove that limiter, this will take up to a minute or two, because I've done this so many times and I was kind of surprised how it came out in 30 seconds. But then it'll take a minute or two if you're analyzing like 10 subreddits or 10 threads or conversations. Now let's say, now the question that the it has asked towards the end is, would you like me to use this detailed pain point summary to find market gaps and creative solutions that could solve these problems? So when you just quickly read through this pain point summary, uh, although it only checked for 2 slots, checked through 2 threads or through 2 conversations, as you can see, it's still given out pretty decent response, right? For diagnostic services in healthcare, a major pain point highlighted is the excessively long waiting times for assessments such as autism and ADHD diagnosis via NHS, causing anxiety, work mental health impacts. Additionally, blah blah blah. Financial barriers restrict access to faster private diagnosis options. You see, these are pain points that we can solve in this AI era. These are pain points that can be solved, and if with further analysis, or if we give it more conversations to analyze, it comes up with these with these summaries that we think, okay, cool, that is possible, and we actually make a solution to that, we put it out there in the market. There this is what do you say, this summary that you're reading is living proof that there is demand for solutions like that. You won't have to go anywhere far to sell that system, because this is actually people speaking about their problems that they faced within that subcategory in that industry, right? So you can, with with confidence, go out there and build a solution like this with information coming out of AI like this. If you just want to cross check that, you can do it, a bit more manual, deeper analysis after you get the complete market gap analysis as well. So what I'm going to do here is just tell it to continue. Yes, continue. So it did not generate the market gap for some reason. Let's see what happened. Let's go back to market gap generator, market gap generator, YT. Let's go to executions. We've got an error execution. And probably because I did not save the workflow. Exactly because I did not save the workflow. God, kill me. My goodness. Can you try finding the market gap again, please? This will also take some time because it is a lengthier process. Perfect. So we have gotten the market gap analysis for diagnostic services, highlight several creative AI-driven solutions to address this problem. Now, you can, this is a compact version of this. So let's say what are the solutions that it has come across here to address critical pain points such as long waiting times, financial barriers, poor responsiveness, and lack of transparency. Key opportunities include AI-powered tele-neuro development diagnostic platforms for remote and faster diagnostics. That is pretty good, to be honest, right? Actually, I'm not even making this up. That is pretty good. Second one, specialized pediatric neurodevelopment diagnostic hubs offering AI pre-assessments and streamlined access, AI-enabled diagnostic subscription services for ongoing monitoring and priority booking, utility. So that is right. Enabled diagnostic subscription services for ongoing monitoring and priority booking, which means if you're if the monitoring is happening automatically, the booking also can happen automatically, so that you don't have to wait for diagnostics, or the time time that you wait can reduce. These are actual good solutions, and if you have the technical brain to build this as well, then you can find $1 million ideas out of this, and which is why Steph Franz called this the gold mining framework, right? Either ways, as you can see this, now you can connect this to any chat conversation you want. I've used Telegram. It is very easy to connect Telegram. You just have to go here and select Telegram, and you can have this connect. The API setup is also very easy. Go to Telegram, select search for the conversation called bot father. So let me just quickly open it up for you. So you search up bot father and you'll get a bot builder like this. And all you have to do is set it up here. They'll give you clear instructions on how to set it up. I don't have to tell you anything about that. And once you set that up, you will get a congratulations message here, and then use this token. So you just have to use this token within the HTTP within the credentials, and that's it. Pretty much you'll get connected to the bot. And to access your bot, you just have to you know uh, you just have to go through the link here, and you click it, you'll go to the bot here. So the bot I named for this one is the gold finder. So it pretty much finds gold, right? And this is how the formatted output will look like. All right. So I think that is pretty much it. It is a very, very long video, but it should actually summarize a lot of things for you. And it should, I hope by, within the end of this video, you're able to build this. I'll give you all the resources underneath this video. You will not have to go anywhere in search for it. Everything will be included. And I hope you guys find your next $1 million idea because of this. With that being said, if you like more videos, if you want to see more videos like this, do not forget to like and subscribe. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort to make videos like this, and it is something that I love doing, but then would also appreciate if you guys actually find this useful, to reach out to me and to let me know that you found this helpful and you are using it for your day-to-day activities as well. With that being said, take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead. Peace out.